Hello and good afternoon. My Sunday sermon today is quite a strange subject, if you like, but if you bear with me, you will follow the logic of what I'm going to lead to. You can't turn a whore into a housewife. That is something that is on the lips of most men, not women, most men. Every man runs around and creates his own yardstick, his own measure. If you like, a woman should be chaste, she should be virginal, she should be pure before she's fit for marriage. However, the man, he's different. He can sleep around, he can sow his wild oats, as it were. And as a result, we have double standards. And it is this double standard that has created this sex division, why we have angry feminists, because they are aware of the contradiction and the double standards of these men. I want to probe this ideology that you can't turn a whore into a housewife. What they're arguing is that no woman worth her name is worth marrying unless she's of good character, unless she's of good virtue. Never mind the man, he can do whatever he wants. The standards does not apply to him. And even in 2017, those principles, whether we like it or not, they still stand. Men can sleep around, but women can't. Despite the era of feminism, despite the so-called women's equality, no man is going to choose a woman that is of disrepute, quote unquote, and therefore the hypocrisy still remains. I remember when I used to go to this church in Wolverhampton, there was this drug dealer. And I remember he had a very bad reputation. He sold drugs and he did a lot of horrible things. And then he gave his life to Christ. And this drug dealer, he had the best character in church. Here he was, lost in sin, lost in shame, lost in disgrace and wickedness, and yet he turned out to be the best character. And the reason being is because when you are lost in darkness and you come into the light, you become aware of what you have done and what you are as a person. And when you engulf yourself into the light, you begin to realize, wow, look where I came from. I can't judge because my life was wicked. The best women, not all cases, but women who have had, if you like, a colorful life, women who have been promiscuous, believe it or not, they are less likely to cheat than women who are religious and have never been tempted. And the reason being, women who have been around, women who have been promiscuous, they've lived a life of sin. They know what it's like. So therefore, try to put the temptation in front of them, they're going to resist. Why? They've seen it all. They wore that t-shirt. It is interesting, if I go back to the biblical theme, it's interesting that the pure people, the perfect people who abandoned Christ, it is interesting to note, it was the loose women, the prostitutes, the dirty women, the whores that you would not make into a housewife. It was the whores that went to the cross and bathed the feet of Jesus. Not the perfect men, not the Pharisees, not the Sadducees, not the religious leaders. It was the untouchable women, the prostitutes, who Jesus forgave. They wanted to stone her. They wanted to kill her. They never cared about the men who slept around. That was okay. But they dragged the woman naked. Look at the Bible. They dragged her naked. Why? The Bible says she was caught in the act of adultery. Meaning, they dragged her while she was naked. Didn't give her the time or decency to put her clothes back on and cover herself up. They dragged her naked. And they says, Lord, the laws of Moses say stone her to death. They hated women. They hated them. Double standards. Men can do it and get away with it, but women couldn't do it. And Jesus wrote on the ground, and he replied, you men, you hypocritical men, you men of double standards, you vile men who put the chain, heavy chain on women's neck that you yourself won't do. You men that give these women the high standards that you won't follow. Let he without sin cast that first stone. You men, if you're so perfect, then pick up that stone and kill her with it. And Jesus started to write on the ground. In other words, he must have been writing every sin that these men were up to. And when Jesus, that's why I love Jesus so much. You'll never destroy my faith in Christ. And Jesus raised his head up. And he said to the woman, he said to the prostitute, where are your accusers? Where are they? You know, this is for drama. Where are they? And the woman says, Lord, they've all disappeared. And Jesus said, they haven't condemned you? They have the nerve to condemn you? These perfect men? And she said, no, Lord. He says, neither will I condemn you. But go and sin no more. And she did not sin anymore. She went on to live a clean, holy life, more clean than the religious people, more clean than the pure women, the virtuous women, all saintly, looking for a good man, all saintly, saying the right things, looking for to marry a pastor's son. I remember, this is Seventh-day Adventist Church, a woman who came in with all her shopping. She wasn't a Seventh-day Adventist. She came with all her shopping, and the church kicked her out. Oh, look at her with all her shopping. Kicked her out. These are perfect Christians. Never saw her again. In Ezekiel, we are warned. If we sacrifice somebody's life and fail to spread the gospel to the thief, the prostitutes, and the whores, then we ourselves will be judged. Because when the thief and the prostitute change their lives, they are better than those of us who claim we're perfect because we're brought up in a Christian family. We happen to be children of the pastors. So we think we're perfect because we hide behind the pastor's glory. We hide behind the pastor's cream. So we're the perfect children, the perfect son. And everybody wants to marry the son of a pastor or the daughter of a pastor. So they think they're perfect. If you want to see perfection, you look at the whores, the prostitutes who changed their lives around. This prostitute He even used expensive anointment, expensive, to wash the feet of Jesus before the resurrection, before the crucifixion. Washed his feet, and Judas, the money, Judas, Creflo Dollar, Judas, Joyce Myers, Judas, Benny Hinn, Judas, T.D. Jakes, Judas, Peter Popoff. Look what she's doing with that expensive bottle. That could have gone to feed the poor. They were playing games. These people, this Judas, they worshipped money. They didn't want to see Jesus' feet being washed with his perfume. They thought, wow, we could sell that. Creflo Dollar and Benny Hinn and Joyce Myers, we could sell that. They were being crafty. But this prostitute, this lowlife, this whore that men judge, that men wouldn't touch, she turned out to be a saint. You see, us men, the reason why we end up divorced so many times, and the reason why, if you ever watch Killer's Affairs, the number of women, good women, that murder their husbands for their money and poison them. They're all saintly and perfect, beautiful looking, and nice blonde hair. And these men thinking with their sausage, thinking with their big sausage. They put the ring on her vagina, put the ring on her hair, instead of putting the ring on her character. And that's why so many men are being used and exploited. You put a ring on her blonde vagina, and you put a ring on her beautiful blonde hair. Never mind her character. You don't care about that. And that's how men are suffering. That's how you men are suffering. You're putting a ring on her beautiful blonde vagina and her beautiful curly blonde hair. And as a result, they end up killing you, poisoning you for your life insurance. Jesus said, he that gives much forgives much. He that forgives little forgives little. If you think you're perfect, if you think you're gorgeous, you won't give nothing away. Because you're full of pride. You think, oh, the world owes me a living because I'm so beautiful. I don't need to work on my character because I'm perfect. I'm arrogant. Men love me for the way I look. Oh, look at me with my lipstick. But when you are lost in sin, when you were a prostitute, a whore, and you change your life, because Jesus has touched your life, because Jesus has healed you from deep inside. Every single one of us are broken. Every single one of us are infected with sin, loneliness, and disgrace. But when Jesus comes into our hearts and makes us into better people, we should be dating each other, marrying each other on a spiritual level. Never mind what the woman did in her past. Never mind what she did in her past. In Jesus, she's a new creation. And trust me, in this case, you can turn a whore into a housewife. I've seen many ex-whores and they become perfect. They love Jesus. They love the gospel. And believe me, no man can seduce her. She's been there. She's done it all. There's no temptation for her. No temptation. It's the good ones you want to watch out for. Let me prove my point. In the Bible, Satan said to Yahweh, Jesus, the children of Israel, the only reason why they love you is because you put a hedge around them. And referring to Job as well, referring to Job, you remove that protection, you remove all that benefits, all that love, the fruit and the vine, and they will turn to the false gods and worship him. They'll turn to Baal, to Babylon. And you know something? You know, Job being the symbol of Christianity and faith, Job was faithful. But Israel, they turned their back on Jesus. This is Yahweh opening the Red Sea and freeing them from Pharaoh. They saw the hand of the mighty God, and yet they betrayed him for false idols, for pieces of wood. They were tempted. They were tempted. They couldn't keep their legs closed. They couldn't keep themselves to themselves. They were tempted, and they fell. They fell. But you know something? These ex-whores, they're like prophets of old, like Joel, like Jeremiah, like Isaiah, like Isaac, like Amos, like Ezekiel. These ex-whores, they will fight by your side. Nothing can burn them up. No water can drown them. They've seen it all. So you can turn a whore into a housewife. Do not judge a woman just because of her past. We men, we're in no position to judge. Look at us, we're dirty. I know I have a colorful past. I know that. I'm not perfect. I've had a wicked past. I've been no good. I'm not in no position to judge an ex-whore. I myself am an ex-whore. I myself am an ex-prostitute. I'm in no position to judge women. And that's the problem with us men. We like to judge women, and yet we have no standards for ourselves. I tell you something, I really shouldn't share this with you, but I'm gonna have a heart-to-heart with you. And that is, I remembered, you know, I was with this person, you know, this woman, and I cheated on her. Temptation got in the way. And my being not a hypocrite, I said to her, look, I cheated on you. You have every right to cheat on me. I don't believe in all these male privileges that men can do it, women can't. I said, look, I've been a brute, I've been wicked, I've been no good, I fell for temptation. I said, you have every right to go and cheat on me. And she wouldn't. Why? Because when you humble yourself, when you confess your wickedness with sincerity and purity, and you say, I'm no good, I was filthy. I tell you something now, just like God will forgive you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever, no matter who you are, Muslim, Jews, whatever, Hindus, Buddhists, whoever believe in him should not perish, will never see the second death, but have everlasting life. If you confess your wickedness to each other, your partner will love you. They will work things through with you, because you're humbling yourself. You're saying, look, I'm not getting away with it because I'm a man. I'm a bloke. I do what I want. The Bible condemns that. Jesus condemns that. Let he without sin cast the first stone. Jesus wasn't saying to go and live in sin, or everything's all right, like the gays preach. No. He says, go and sin. Go and do not continue to do the same thing. But ask God for strength to help you. Let me give you another example. If I was a pastor of a church and two gays came into my church, I wouldn't kick them out. What gives me the right to kick out two gays? Nor would I open the Bible to say, look, this is wrong, here it says it. Because if I cheat and lie, I'm in opposition. But we encourage each other. And through God's love, if they're open to God's love, like we all are, and should be, they'll think, you know something, I don't want to live this life anymore. And there's many ex-gays out there who found Jesus, not bullied by the church. Hey, look at this, here's the Bible, this is what it says here. Oh, look what the Bible says. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Right? There are many ex-gays out there who in God's own time, he transforms them with love and peace. Love and peace. He works with them. That's why it's important to walk in the Spirit. Don't walk in arrogance. Walk in the Spirit. Be prepared to humble yourself when you are wrong. If I had a church and gays came in to condemn it, that's different. Or to challenge it, that's different. But if they came in, these gay people or lesbians, and they came in genuinely, I'm not there to condemn. I'm there to feed them the word, to give them the truth. Not by bashing them, no, by letting God work through them like he has to work through me. The conclusion: you can turn a whore into a housewife, a beautiful and loyal housewife. So I'll be looking for a whore tonight.